Hello again, everyone. This is Bionic Slime. I'm your online voice for reviews of your choice, and this is another installment of BS Reviews. A ways back, I made a war video, anti-war video, you could actually say, basically explaining how I hate war in movies. I hate war in movies. I hate war in real life. I hate it in fictional life. I hate what it does to people. I just flat out friggin' hate it. So you're probably wondering, well, then why the hell am I reviewing a war movie like Brothers? Well, for one thing, I don't really consider Brothers to be a war movie because the involvement of the war is more story sense than the focus sense. They don't focus on it as much. It's more on the after effect of war. And that brings us to the second point, the most important point, and that is this movie actually supports one of my many reasons why I hate war, because I see what it does to people and I hear stories about what it does to people, and it just shocks the shit out of me to see what can happen. And it's for that reason that I really like this film, because it shows it in a strong sense of realism. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The movie I'm reviewing, as I said today, is Brothers. It was brought to a Relativity Media. It was directed by Jim Sheridan, who's directed such films as The Boxer and In the Name of the Father. It was written by David Benoff and Suzanne Bier, who actually wrote the original motion picture. It was a Danish film, so this is actually a remake. And it stars Jake Gyllenhaal as Tommy Cahill, Natalie Portman as Grace Cahill, Toby Maguire as Captain Sam Cahill, Bailey Madison as Isabel Cahill, Taylor Gear as Maggie Cahill, and Sam Shepard as Hank Cahill. The plot of Brothers. Sam Cahill is a respected and honored war hero who's going off back to service, leaving his beautiful wife Grace and his two little girls Isabel and Maggie behind. Unfortunately, the same time he leaves is the same time his brother Tommy gets out of prison. This causes some unwanted tension between them and their father, Hank Cahill, who questions Tommy's choices in life as opposed to Sam's choices in life, considering he's such a war hero and Tommy's a criminal and all. So when Sam leaves off, he is supposedly killed during war, and this devastates Grace and his two girls, forcing Tommy to help out around the house and actually spend time with Grace and the kids, actually filling in the father role that Sam has left them. However, it turns out Sam is alive, and he actually returns back from war a different man. His psychology and his personality has drastically changed, and he's now become a more emotionally and mentally unstable person who is suspecting that Tommy and Grace have slept together while they believed he was dead. Review of the plot. This is, like I said, a pretty cut and dry, obvious setup in terms of what war does to people. More specifically, what it does to people's lives, how it affects them. And even though this is a pretty simple concept, I really have to applaud them for choosing such a realistic and honest, hardcore story that focuses not on the damage war can cause physically, but mentally, bringing a sense of realism to war movies, or at least a war-like film, without using flashy gore effects or exploding heads to nail in your point. Here, we see the point has been nailed in psychologically, and it shows just how devastating a war can be to a person, even without, losing any limbs or anything like that. And I think the idea of focusing on this relationship between these two brothers and this one woman, and just how they interplay, particularly how amazing the transformation is, how, convict Tommy ends up becoming such a caring and emotional supporter for Grace, and how Sam becomes this decorated war hero to this flippin' nutcase. It's an amazing transformation, because it shows that people can not only change, but also that things don't always go the way you think you do. And that's part of what life is. And that's another reason why I said the realism really works in this film, because it doesn't sugarcoat anything. And while it may seem a little simple and contrived as a simple brother story, I think it really brings a hard touch of realism without the flashy gore and guts. Review the characters. By far the best thing about this film, without even giving anything away, I can tell you right now, is the acting, because this has got to be the most phenomenal acting I've seen in a long friggin' time. I want those award jack-offs who keep praising these four-star films that no one's ever heard of to take a look at this film and tell me that there are not some serious Academy or Golden Globe or whatever awards are given to these actors, because this is a film that really deserves it. Toby Maguire was mind-blowingly fantastic. He truly shows what it's like to be damaged goods. I mean, I've never seen such an incredible performance, particularly from someone who I've been known to see as Spider-Man for so many years. I haven't seen him in much other than Spider-Man. So not only do I see him in this, but to see he gives such a groundbreaking performance that truly shows he's an actor worthy of his salary, just really made me get sucked into this movie so much. I didn't even care how simple the story was or whatever, because he was such an amazing actor in this film. I cannot even describe it. You have to see it for yourself. Jake Gyllenhaal, another talented actor, did a very good job here. He made the transition from the con brother to the good brother very nicely, and he was believable and plausible, and I really like what he brought here. He didn't overplay it. He didn't, make it silly or over exaggerated. He made it honest, simple, and real. Natalie Portman, very good. I've seen her act better. Let's put it this way. But that doesn't mean she was bad in this. She was good in this. She's done better, but I liked her in this. She gave a very realistic, down-to-earth approach to this wife character, Grace. You never felt she was too stupid or too sobby or too, whiny or anything. She didn't come off that way. She came off as a strong person who proves again and again and again in the film that she still loved this person, even though all the psycho shit that Sam puts everyone through. And that's hard to do because so many movies can easily fall into cliches, particularly the characters. So it's nice that she gave, again, another strong sense of realism without falling into the Hollywood cliches. Cinematography and music review. Music was good. It was pretty appropriate with the themes and the moods of this movie. It didn't really get too flashy, too crazy with it. It was simple. It was what you needed. It fit every theme, every mood, every place in the film, and it never overplayed it or underplayed it. It was balanced out. Cinematography was really good, particularly because it just really helped emphasize the craziness that Sam is going through. I know I come back to the craziness a lot, but that's a big thing you got to talk about this film is the craziness, and the camera really makes good use of that, filming it out, really making him look just much more crazy, just much more isolated and alienated, and it's really hard to have an actor and a camera work that can really make that look authentic on film, and they did it beautifully here. Flaws about the film. The only thing I really was bothered by in this film, I guess, is that it didn't automatically grab you from the get-go. It definitely takes some time to build up, and I think that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It just means that the film did not consecutively grab my attention from the beginning to the end. It did take some time to get used to this, and it does take some time to settle to the attachments. Once you're in, it's fantastic, but it's not an initial kickoff great start. I also felt that the relationship between the brothers was not really focused on as much, which isn't a bad thing, but when you call a film Brothers, you should kind of expect that kind of, relationship to be focused on. I mean, they didn't do a bad job, but it was definitely clear that the relationship between Grace and Sam, the husband and wife, was more evident here. So I guess I just felt they should have paid more attention to that. Final wrap up: Brothers is not a war movie, and if it is, it's a war movie unlike I've ever seen, because for once, at least in a long time, we see the effects of war as opposed to the war itself. And that to me is far more fascinating than seeing bullets flying at your head at a million miles an hour. Because you see the drama, the nitty-gritty, heartfelt emotions on the actors' faces, and no movie has shown it as beautifully or as perfect as this film. Toby Maguire deserves every friggin' award imaginable. He is the true star of this film. He was beautiful, he was fantastic, well acted, well spoken, everything. Phenomenal. Natalie Portman, great. Believable. Not the best she's done, but still very, very good. Jake Gyllenhaal, another great cast member. Excellent. The little girls, Bailey, Madison, Taylor Gear, were good as the kids. Sam Shepard was a little overplayed with his part, and even though the film doesn't grip you from the very beginning and kind of wanes on the brothers' relationship, this is a film that I highly recommend checking out, that I think everyone can get something out of. Good, emotional, bad, whatever. It's a good damn movie with top-notch, I repeat, top-notch acting. Bottom line, I give Brothers 3.5 stars out of 5. Well, that's all for now. This has been Bionic Slime for BS Reviews. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye for now.